Say you will say me, say it together, naturally. That's John Lennon. That's not Russell Crowe. There he is, Gladiator. Welcome back, friends, Romans, countrymen. I'm Riley Kate Harper. You either clicked on this video for one of three reasons. One, you love Russell Crowe. Look at him, you love him. Two, you hate Russell Crowe, and this is some weird vindictive thing where you need to watch things about somebody that you dislike to make yourself feel better. Three, you're my parents. Hey guys. I do something every once in a while where I'll watch a movie that an actor is in and I'll kind of fixate on that actor. I'll watch every single movie that they've been in. I've done it with a couple of actors. Most recently is Mr. Crowe here. I used to just kind of do this for my own benefit, just to see everything, every possible range that they could have. But what's the point of doing something if you don't ramble about it to strangers on the internet? I am going to go through every single Russell Crowe movie ever. The man has made around 80 movies. So no, I lied. Not every Russell Crowe movie ever, but it is every single one that I've seen. This is not in chronological order of release. I'll be scoring these movies on three separate scales. Number one, how good Russell Crowe looks in each movie. This is a very important category, and I don't think we should take it lightly. Number two, how good his performance is in each movie. And three, how good I think the movie is overall. Not a movie critic. Don't get mad at me if I hate on your favorite movie of all time that Russell Crowe just happens to be in, okay? Don't get your panties in a twist. Our Crowe-a-thon is about to begin. The first movie that we're going to be talking about is The Quick and the Dead. 1995, Sam Raimi. This is the one that started it all. I watched this on a flight back from London when I studied abroad. Could not control myself while watching this movie. I was ripping the seating off of the edge of the airplane. To make my point, here's Russell Crowe in that movie. Let's get a nice scroll up and down there. Quick plot summary. Sharon Stone's character is like this outlaw lady and she rides into town and you don't really know why she's there. And then it's slowly revealed through like weird fade in, fade out flashbacks that Gene Hackman, who's like the evil sheriff, not really boss man of the town, killed her dad to take over the town when she was a kid. Russell Crowe is there. His character's name is Court and he's this priest that Gene Hackman's character has dragged back in the town. But it's revealed later he used to work for Gene Hackman and was like a gunslinger. Gene Hackman says there's going to be this duel contest and whoever wins the duel contest gets money and yada yada yada. A bunch of people enter it. Keith David, Leonardo DiCaprio, Sharon Stone. Court is like, I'm not going to enter this. I've sworn off violence. I'm a priest. I'm a man of God. It's pretty awesome all around. I wouldn't say it's the best Western of all time. It's a little meandering, a little cheesy, but that's fun, you know? It's enjoyable. I got the Crowe fever from this one. He looks incredible. He's covered in dirt. He's in chains 90% of the time. Look at that scowl. Oh, he's so angry. He's so dirty. He's so dirty and angry. Such repressed rage. Gets right in here. Gets my little heart pumping. One thing that's interesting to note though is that there are two different cuts of this movie. There's an American version and a European version. Flying back from London, I got blessed with the European version. There is a scene between Russell Crowe and Sharon Stone's characters in the original cut. He picks her up in her leather chaps while they're both covered in rainwater and mud and they go at it, and I don't know why they cut it out of the American version, but it doesn't make sense in the American cut because like they're not really friends and then suddenly they're friends and they're trying to defeat evil Gene Hackman together. You're like, why are they friends now? Why are they working together? Final rating 4.9 on the Russell Crowe looks scale. This is the movie that created the fixation. Russell Crowe characters always have this tendency to be like a tough guy with this like heart of gold thing going on. Performance wise, I'd say this is like 3.7. Overall score for the movie, a 4. This is a 4 for me. I don't care. If you want to watch a Western and nothing too serious, you should go watch this. Moving on. Up next, It Only Feels Right, talk about the movie that was the thing that gave him like notoriety, which is Romper Stomper, a 1992 film by Geoffrey Rush. And this movie is messed up, I'm not gonna lie. Quick plot summary. Russell Crowe plays Hando, the leader of this gang of like youth Australian neo-Nazis. His best friend is Davey, played by Daniel Pollock, and the movie just kind of follows them beating up Vietnamese children or like kids their age. It's really disturbing. It's in Melbourne. They're on the run and they meet up with this like teenage drug addict named Gabe. I think her full name is Gabrielle, played by Jacqueline McKenzie. And she basically tells them, hey, we should go rob my dad's mansion because he sexually abuses her. The whole movie is just very dark. They rob her filthy pervert dad's mansion, and then Davey and Hando, Russell Crowe, kind of like butt heads over Gabe because they both like her. And it has has a very depressing ending. There are some really beautiful shots in this movie, but overall, not something I would watch again. Fake tattoos in this look really bad. Not just because they say crazy racist stuff, but because they don't look like they were applied very well. Mixed opinions on this movie. A lot of people say that this is like revolutionary, but it's just a lot of the same. A lot of murder. The fake tattoos looking bad could be on purpose, but it was honestly kind of hard to tell. It looked like they were drawn on with marker. Crowe's performance in this is pretty nuts, and I get why he gained notoriety for it. It's very disturbing to hear the white power rhetoric repeated in this bedroom voice thing that he's doing. If you're looking for something dark and edgy, then this is a good movie for you. Final rating for this, Russell Crowe looks good in this movie. It's hard to enjoy it because he is playing a neo-Nazi. The shaved head is not a bad look for him. So maybe like a 3 out of 5. Performance-wise, it's pretty early on, but this is like a 4 out of 5. This is the role that's gonna highlight him for LA Confidential. Movie overall, not something I said before I really enjoyed, but I don't know if it's really meant to be enjoyed. 3 out of 5. Okay, let's move on to the next movie, which is gonna be LA Confidential. I love this movie. It came out in 1997. It's directed by Curtis Hanson. It's based on the 4-part novel series written by James Ellroy. I'm gonna try and do the most concise summary of this movie's plot possible in a way that makes sense because it's a little convoluted. So it follows 3 policemen, Bud White, Ed Exley, and Jack Vincennes, played respectively by Guy Pearce, Russell Crowe, and Kevin Spacey. And they're basically following like 3 different trails of corruption throughout Los Angeles in the 1950s. Guy Pearce is kind of like a pencil pusher, needle noser, loser, but he's like good at his job and he's a very straight-laced police officer. And then Bud White, Russell Crowe, is like this big burly muscle man who does all the brute work for the department. Jack Vincennes, Kevin Spacey, is like the police correspondent for this really famous cop show. So they each have their different motives. Kim Basinger is there. She plays like prostitutes that look like movie stars sort of thing, but that is as concise as I can get without getting into the crazy details of everything. Crowe went from romper stomper to this. Makes perfect sense. Bud White is this like tough guy with a heart of gold sort of thing. Crowe just has this like open, earnest quality when he plays roles like this, like, but this like guardedness at the same time. I love it. Totally captures the essence of like this era of Hollywood. The city is a character within itself. It's alive, it's breathing, it's pulsating. Not in like a gross, weird way, in like a cool underbelly neo-noir kind of way. I prefer Bud White significantly to his character in Romper Stomper, except Bud White also hits a woman in this movie, even though his whole point of his character is that he doesn't like women beaters, but then he smacks Kim Basinger like a rag doll. Like, I don't understand why they did that. I get it, like he falls victim to the very thing that he's trying to protect people from. It's like a moment where he has to re-examine his character and whatnot, but it just pissed me off, frankly. Kevin Spacey's big yikes, but he's awesome in this movie, I'm not gonna lie. Jack Vincennes is suave and smarmy, and you root for him anyways. Guy Pearce is such a pencil pusher, and I love it. He makes Ed Exley likable somehow. He's a snot-nosed little brat at the beginning of this movie. Final ratings for this is a 4 out of 5 in the looks department for Crowe. I think he's so yummy in this movie. He's burly and stupid, except for the women beating part. That's not as fun. He's got shorter hair, which I don't like as much. Performance-wise, I think this is a 4.5. I just think he brings so much depth to Bud. He clearly understands the character. The scene where he finds out Lynn, Kim Basinger's character, has kissed Ed Exley, he shows up at her house, and he's like so angry. He's like overcome. You can see it in his eyes. That's the one thing about Crowe and his performance is like you can see the freaking flip switch. It's crazy. Overall, I think this has got to be a 5 out of 5 for me. I just love LA Confidential. We're gonna move on to the next, which is American Gangster. This movie rocks, and it's another crime epic. You know, we're staying on theme here. This came out in 2007, so after his peak on Gladiator, which we'll get to, with Ridley Scott, him and Denzel. I think it's funny that he did Gladiator with Crowe and then did this with him and Denzel, and then was like, I'm gonna go do another Gladiator with just Denzel this time. People always say the directors have favorite actors, but he really, really likes to favor these two gentlemen right here. It's a pretty scoping epic, which Ridley Scott likes to do, but I feel like you're very clearly connected to the characters here, so it's easy to stay with. If you're looking for another good crime movie with 2 engaging and charismatic leads, you got him right here. Okay, quick summary of this movie. It follows Harlem drug dealer Frank Lucas and his rise to power after the drug boss that he works for dies. Follows him and his family family and him like getting to provide for his family and stuff, but also he's like a murderer and a drug lord and all of this crazy stuff. Crowe plays Richie Roberts, an honest cop who's trying to become a lawyer. He forms this like team to track down Frank Lucas, and it's based on a true story. I don't know how much it's pulled from real life, but Richie Roberts was a real cop who helped bring down Frank Lucas and his huge drug ring and became a lawyer and then represented Lucas at one point in court, which I just think is so crazy. Crazy opening to this movie. Denzel kills somebody within like 15 seconds, so hooks you pretty fast. And then he just keeps that momentum from there. He's so charismatic. It's insane. It's insane. I love Crowe in this. He's got like the shaggy 70s hair. He's got this like Brooklyn accent going. Oh my god, it's so good. And again, Crowe loves a tough guy with a moral compass, and you get that. It's so intense. Both of them give great performances. Josh Brolin is a little slime ball for when he's on screen. This movie is a blast and a half. It's a bit on the longer side, as Ridley Scott's movies tend to be. This is a 4 out of 5 on the looks department for me. He's got the long hair, he's got the leather jackets, he's got an accent. When he talks with an accent, it makes me want to talk with an accent. Like another 4 out of 5 performance-wise for me. Overall, I think this is 3.5, waffling between a 3 and a 4 out of 5. Now we're going to cover what I'm sure you've all been waiting for, which is Gladiator. This movie came out in 2000, the year I was born. I think it's a sign. It's a Ridley Scott movie. The first foray into the Ridley Scott-Russell Crowe duo, which happens a lot. And if you don't know the plot of this movie, I don't know what to tell you. Don't know why you haven't seen it. Maximus Decimus Meridius. Bam, bam, bam. Father of a murdered son. Husband of a murdered wife. Go see this movie. The new one, I don't think, carried the same weight that this did. Part of what made this movie so freaking fantastic was that they wrote most of it on set. I know so much trivia about this movie, you better lock in right now. The script that they had wasn't very good. They had like some semblance of the script, but they didn't like the majority of it. So on set, they were just writing bits, rewriting things that became fundamental to the plot, weren't even in the script. The father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. That was improv, which is crazy. It's iconic. He gives so much heart to this performance. Again, tough guy with a heart of gold. He's nailing it. He knows his niche. He's booking, but they're all so different. He brings this gentleness to these characters who have so much depth and pain and suffering stored in them. And also, he looks scrum-diddly-umptious. Roman general, more like Roman god. Bonus points because he's sweaty and dirty for like a good chunk of it, and you know that I like my men sweaty and dirty. I like my men how I like my sneakers after a run outside, soaked with sweat and covered in dust. Personally, for me, this isn't my favorite movie of his. He's fantastic in this movie, but as a thorough Russell Crowe enjoyer, get a grip. Get a grip. It's probably not my favorite movie of his, just because he's been in other stuff that I've liked more. But maybe I've just seen it too much. Overall, rating-wise, looks, I gotta give this 5 out of 5. He's shredded in this movie. Performance-wise, this is probably another 5 out of 5. He's incredible in this movie. This is a 5 out of 5 for me, for knowing the background behind it, of everything that went into creating it. So I'm giving it a 5 out of 5, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. You think I'd give a rat's patoot? I don't. We're moving on. Robin Hood, Robin of the Hood, another Ridley Scott, Russell Crowe collab. This came out in 2010, after American Gangster, which was in 2007, and after Gladiator. Quick summary of this one. I mean, it's Robin Hood. If you don't know the tale of Robin Hood, then I don't really know what to tell you. Richard the Lionheart, King of England, has just kick the bucket. So his name is Robin Longstride. He's in the king's army. The king gets killed, runs into this knight as he's dying, and the knight is like, take this sword back to my dad. So Robin Longstride, Russell Crowe, goes back to Nottingham, where he runs into Kate Blanchett, who is the wife of this soldier who died. Him and Kate Blanchett fall in love. Then he's gotta like be a knight even though he's not a knight, and it's kind of awesome. This didn't get great reviews, I think, but I really enjoyed it because I'm a sucker for Old England and Robin Hood and Russell Crowe. Mark Strong is in this. He plays a fun bad guy, and it's got some gritty action, medieval swords and bows and arrows and catapults and horses and stuff like that. People also kind of criticize Russell Crowe and Kate Blanchett's chemistry in this. I think they're kind of cutesy together. Do I think this is the best movie of all time? No. Do I get a disproportionate amount of enjoyment out of it because Russell Crowe is in it? Yes, I do. and I'm not embarrassed to admit that. I've heard it doesn't stick that close to the actual tale, but I mean, it's a movie. This is another dad classic. I think if you watch this with your dad, he'll probably enjoy it. I know mine did. I'm pretty sure we watched this together. For final ratings, I think looks-wise, this is like a 3. The outfits are not really hitting. I like when he swings his sword around. The hair is shorter, and I always want the longer hair on him. What can I say? Performance-wise, a 3. I wish it would have been a little more playful, but also it's Ridley Scott, so the whole thing is kind of like dark and dreary, but I wish that he would have had a little more like quirked up white boy in him. I don't know if that's too much to ask. Movie overall, solid 3, maybe even a 2. We're gonna go in a very opposite direction for the next movie. We're gonna jump to something fun and lighthearted that I really enjoy, and that's gonna be The Nice Guys. This is an underrated pick for me. My friends will not watch it with me. Brady, Liam, Zaza, if you're watching this, you guys suck. It's just good-natured fun. It came out in 2016. It's directed by Shane Black, who wrote Predator, the Lethal Weapon movies, Iron Man 3. This movie is just fun. Like, you don't get to see Russell Crowe kind of go off the handle, and Ryan Gosling, it just has incredible comedic timing that we've all come to know and love. The both of them are so good together. They have such great chemistry. Mr. Crowe doing the tough guy with a heart of gold thing, perfected, made goofy and sweet, and it's in the 70s, so we get to see him in a big old bruiser leather jacket with brass knuckles. Sometimes Crowe wears little reading glasses in this when he's walking around. This is to the point where some people look at me when I start biting my knuckles like that, and they're like, this man is as old as your father. I go, okay, he's not my father. And he has reading glasses on in this. Another quick summary of this movie. Ryan Gosling plays Holland March, a down-on-his-luck private investigator in 1977, Los Angeles. Russell Crowe is Jackson Healy, who's kind of this bruiser enforcer type who's hired to scare off these people that are following Margaret Qualley's character named Amelia. Their paths cross through a bunch of different means in the intertwining of the story, and soon they both have to hunt down Margaret Qualley's Amelia, who just vanished. It has to do with the porn industry, weirdly enough. It's like if Boogie Nights and Lethal Weapon had a baby, kind of, in LA Confidential. Please go watch it. I think it was on Netflix for a while. It might still be. Okay, final ratings. 4 out of 5 for Mr. Crowe for me. He bulked up for this movie. He put some muscle on. It's in the 70s, so he's wearing like suits and a lot of blue, and it just looks good. He gets to be kind of funny in this, and it's just charming. Ryan Gosling, he gets a 5 out of 5 in this movie. 2 of them together, just make this movie. I think this is also a 4 out of 5 performance-wise. He's just having a blast in this because he's having fun, and then he has the range. It's just awesome. And then overall, maybe 4.5 out of 5. This movie's a blast. I want Shane Black to write more stuff. And we're gonna move on. We're going to another Western, and that is going to be 3:10 to Yuma. We're back in the wild, wild west, ladies and gentlemen. This came out in 2007, and it is a James Mangold directed film. Fun little cast over here. He's starring opposite to Christian Bale, which is super fun. They're great together. Logan Lerman is in this. Ben Foster, who I think is severely underrated. We also have Alan Tudyk. Again, quick little summary. So the movie follows Ben Wade, played by Russell Crowe. Isn't Ben Wade just like a sexy name for an outlaw? Christian Bale plays Dan Evans, is a farmer, and his farm's going under, and there's been a drought. His son is Logan Lerman. Ben Wade, Russell Crowe, finally gets captured, and they're gonna like bring him in, and they gotta put him on the 310 to Yuma County so he can go to prison. The movie follows them being in charge of transporting Ben Wade to get him on the train to send him to jail. The last 20 minutes of this movie keep you on the edge of your seat. You are locked in. There's so much happening, and the chemistry between Bale and Crowe, it's just bam, 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 bam. Kind of want to kiss each other a little bit, but what are you talking about? They're not gay. It has that nitty gritty feel to it. Also, while watching this movie, I really realized Christian Bale really reminds me of Timothée Chalamet, but to me, he could be Timothée Chalamet when he's older, and if he wasn't like French. James Mangold knows how to direct. This is based off of a movie that came out before this. It's a remake. Russell Crowe just like oozes this like don't even care, too cool for everything charm. I don't know if up until this point we've really seen a movie where Crowe played a straight up bad guy, but even here again, it's like the rugged mean guy with a heart of gold and got a little nugget of goodness going on. Final rating, 5 out of 5. He's got the long hair, he's doing an accent, he's wearing like black velvet and riding horses and shooting guns. And then Crowe performance, like a 3.7. It's the perfect foil for Bale. He's cool in this. He's effortlessly cool. Overall rating for this movie, this is probably like a 3.7. It lags a little in the beginning for me. Maybe I'm just impatient. We're moving on. We're talking about Cinderella Man. Cinderella Man. This came out in 2005. It's directed by Ron Howard. To put in perspective, post-Gladiator, but pre-American Gangster and 310 to Yuma. Okay, quick summary of the movie. It's set in the Great Depression. It follows a boxer. It's based on a true story. It's a Cinderella story of this guy who was down and out. James J. Braddock is an ex-boxer, and then he wins this match by chance and then goes on this crazy streak, getting back into the ring full time and on his come up. This kind of flew under the radar for me in terms of movies that are notable for Russell Crowe. I love a boxing movie. Renee Zellweger is in this. Sometimes she annoys me, but also it's Bridget Jones. Like, I need to shut up. And she's great in this. The two of them together are great. You root for them. Sometimes when in movies about sports, you can be just like, when are they gonna start fighting again? Like, you don't care about the side plot or the family or whatever. This movie makes you care. Who doesn't love a comeback story? And also, he looks phenomenal in this. And it's even cooler knowing that it's based on a true story. You just get like such a sense of satisfaction. Final ratings for this, looks-wise, this is a 5 out of 5. I mean, he's shirtless most of the movie, and he's got a little long on the top, but it's short on the sides with the hair, and he's got a little bit of an accent going too. Rugged, and he cares about his family, and he loves his wife. Performance-wise, to me, this is one of Crowe's best. Again, it's like a gentleness, but like an intensity. He has this vulnerability to him, this openness. This is probably a 5 out of 5 for me. Overall, probably a 4 out of 5. This movie really caught me by surprise. We're moving on to another dad classic and another personal favorite of mine. Master and Commander, Far Side of the World by Peter Weir. Came out in 2003, so before Cinderella Man, but after Gladiator. This is the dad movie to end all dad movies. Paul Bettany and Russell Crowe, they're like this in this movie. They banter, they fight. It's actually really good. Based on a book series. Quick summary of this. It's set in 1805 aboard the HMS Surprise. Jack Aubrey is the captain, Russell Crowe. Paul Bettany is his trusted friend and the ship's surgeon, but scholar. Their charge is to hunt down and capture a powerful French vessel. Napoleon is winning the war, but Lucky Jack, Captain Jack Aubrey, is gonna lead him to victory. All you need are to be some lads on a boat, really. Russell Crowe with long blonde hair, not really my type. I tend to avoid blonde. I watched this with my dad. It's like sipping a cup of tea in a library while it pours rain outside. You'd think it would be boring, but it's not. It's actually very enlightening. Crowe is soaking wet through most of it, so I really enjoyed myself. I think overall ratings, attractiveness for Crowe. Now this is a toughie because he's blonde and I just couldn't quite get over that, but it's different from characters he usually played. He's a real by the books naval captain here. I was kind of doing it for me, and the blonde hair normally wouldn't do it for me, but there were scenes when he was kind of down and he was heaving and hawing and being a sailor, and I was like, do I like this? I'm gonna have to give this a 4 out of 5. It was something different. Performance-wise, also a 4 out of 5. He's cool as hell. That Russell Crowe vulnerability leaking out of every orifice. Overall movie, 3 out of 5. It's not gonna be for everybody. It's a nice movie for some background. It's a great movie to watch with your dad. We're gonna move on. Okay, lock and load, ladies and gentlemen, because we're talking about Virtuosity. This is a 1995 release by Brett Leonard, and it's a weird movie right off the bat. Watching the first 4 minutes of this movie, I didn't know whether to be jealous or feel pity for the people who saw it in theaters the first time. Plot goes as follows. Denzel Washington plays Parker Barnes, a former cop who's been imprisoned for murdering the guy who murdered his family. He is recruited to test out a new virtual reality program where the goal is to apprehend a computer-generated being called Sid 6.7. This is Russell Crowe. And Sid is basically like every murderer or bad guy in the history of ever combined into Russell Crowe in like a twink body. The whole point is that it's like every evil person ever in his brain for some reason. His motives are kind of just to be evil. Denzel Washington has a personal vendetta against Sid because the mind of the guy who murdered his wife and children is now in Sid 6.7. It's really cheesy. It's in that weird period of the 90s where they were trying to figure out what the future was like, and they were starting to use CGI, and it wasn't very good. It's not great. I mean, Denzel, honestly, for Denzel, gives a pretty flat performance in this. Crowe is like a crazy, maniacal bad guy who kind of looks like he's one of the Beach Boys or something. Russell Crowe is like melding in and out of the screen, and then like shooting people, and then like singing and reciting poetry, and I was like, am I conscious? Am I present right now? Rating for this, Russell Crowe department, he looks pretty good in this, and he's being kind of psychotic. 3. he's not bad. Performance-wise, hard to judge. He's clearly having a blast. Like a 3 as well, maybe a 2.5 from Crowe. It's early in his career. The movie overall, this is a 2 for me. Solid 2. If you like freaky sci-fi stuff, who knows? This could appeal to you. We're gonna go to another obscure early career movie. We're jumping to Breaking Up with Russell Crowe and Salma Hayek in 1997, directed by Robert Greenwald. And out of all the movies that I'll get on here and defend Russell Crowe, this is not a good movie. Okay, really quick summary of this. It's love in the 90s. It's a couple following them breaking up and getting back together and then almost getting married and then not getting married and then moving in and moving out and blah, blah, blah. That's it. That's the summary. That's the entire plot of this movie. I wrote a pretty long review for this on Letterboxd. I gave it half a star, the lowest scoring that I've ever given anything ever. It's very painfully and clearly written for the stage. Looks like a Bath and Body Works commercial at some point. You kind of just have to see it to believe it. Not that I suggest you put yourself through watching this. Final scoring. Crowe, look at this. I mean, he's young, he's attractive. Maybe a 3. He's the highlight for me here. Performance-wise, probably a 2. He's got some good moments. I think really it's more direction and writing. And then overall movie, this is a 1. And I hate to say that. I usually like pretty much anything. I'm fairly optimistic. Moving on, this next one is how I really expose myself as a true freak. We are going to be talking about The Silver Brumby, which I bet you $1 million that not a single one of you has heard of. This came out in 1993. It's directed by John Turturro, and it was shot in Australia. Our story follows a young silver stallion named Thaura. He's like a stallion of the valley. He catches the eye of a man, horse tamer, and that man is Russell Crowe. And most of the movie is Russell Crowe trying to catch and tame the Silver Brumby. But it's all told from the perspective of this is a story that a mother wrote for her daughter, and she's reading the test manuscript to her kid. And it's a lot of beautiful shots of horses fighting, a lot of storms, a lot of sweeping landscape shots. This is a kid's movie made for children. Very Black Beauty. This is for horse girls. But you get all these beautiful shots of the Australian, the outback, the horses, Russell Crowe soaking wet and taming horses and like yelling at the sky. Well, final rating of the Silver Brumby. How good Russell looks in this movie. It's a 5 out of 5 for me. He has his natural accent here. Acting wise, pretty bad. Maybe a 1, maybe a 2. And we're moving on. We did something old and obscure, and now we're gonna do something modern and obscure. This is The Exorcism, directed by Joshua Miller in the year 2024, the year of our Lord. I saw this movie at the Vista with 2 of my best friends. Plot summary goes like this. A troubled actor begins to unravel on the set of a horror film that he's shooting. His estranged daughter reconnects with him, but he has a history of addiction, so she's starting to wonder, is he slipping back into past habits, or is he possessed by something on the set? It's a little all over the place. If you're a niche horror fan, if you enjoyed The Pope's Exorcist, which I actually haven't seen, you might enjoy this. Not very well written. I think this was supposed to come out during COVID and then got like postponed. This really wasn't that scary, and I feel like it should have been. Crowe gives a pretty good performance. He does some crazy stuff in this movie. His daughter is gay and she's got a girlfriend, and he says this one line while he's like possessed, where he's like, I bet you can't eat your as good as I do, or something crazy like that. I just don't know if I can say this movie is good. Rating wise though, breaking it down, attractiveness, he plays a possessed man in this. He's like pissing in the corner and like vomiting. It's pretty horrific to look at. This is like a 1 or a 2. Performance wise, honestly, for being a possessed guy, it's probably like a 3. And then movie overall, this is like a 2. I've seen better, I've seen worse. I was entertained though, so I will give it that. It was entertaining. And to wrap it all up, we're gonna go with my most recent watch of all, Land of Bad. Sounds like a toddler title for a movie. You would think with a title like that, this would be not a good movie. But it was not Land of Bad. It was actually Land of pretty good. Liam Hemsworth is in this. It came out in 2024. It's directed by William Eubank. Quick summary of this movie. A Delta Force team is ambushed in enemy territory, and their rookie officer, Liam Hemsworth, refuses to abandon them. Their only hope is Russell Crowe as this drone Air Force pilot, getting Liam Hemsworth's character in and out there to rescue the rest of the guys. Fun watch. Really can't complain. The more I think about it, the more I remember parts where I'm like, wow, this was fun. Russell Crowe's character is super fun. He plays like this crazy military Air Force drone operator who's like also on his like 4th wife. There's this weird interlude scene where he goes to the grocery store to buy his wife vegan cheese, and you're like juxtapositioning that with the crazy action that's going on. I enjoyed it overall. Russell Crowe attractiveness in this one. He's a military man. He's a drone operator. He wears some whack-ass Ted Bundy glasses, but he's like rugged. So, still doing it for me. It's like a 3. Performance-wise, this isn't crazy for him either. Maybe a 3. He gives one really good speech at the end of this movie. He has this really sweet relationship with his other drone pilot. 3 out of 5 performance-wise. Maybe 3.5. And then movie overall, 3.5, 3.7. It's not Saving Private Ryan, obviously. But it was fun and had funny parts in it. So, you know what? Can't ask for much more than that. Can you? I just want to say here, wrapping this up, overall, I think we can agree Russell Crowe is gorgeous and still is, okay? Just leave him alone. Leave. I'm talking to you, Dad. I didn't do Les Mis. I think that's been beaten to death. I haven't seen The Insider. I've heard that's incredible. If there's a Russell Crowe movie I missed that you love, please let me know. I will get to it. If you like this, smash that like button, brother. I'd appreciate it. Please, pretty please, subscribe down below. Mr. Crowe, if you see this, please know I'm not a stalker. I just think you're a great actor. And that's all. And that you're very attractive. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye now.